Welcome back to Fantasy Intervention. This is the weekly six-pack. With Corey Spala and James Kriess, I am Juan Carlos Pena. We're going to give you 3 players up and 3 players down. Introducing himself here is Mr. Corey Spala.
Hi, I'm Corey. Find me at Twitter at cdotFF.
And I am James Kriess. You can find me at FF_chef on Twitter.
And I am at FF One of a Kind. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it, boys, and we're going to tell them what players up and players down. And so my beer for this week is none other than J.K. Dobbins.
Ooh, that's a tasty one.
Yeah. J.K. Dobbins has been great. So this is a strong candidate to finish in the top 5 by next year's beer festival. This is a beer that the Ravens rookie running back, he is in a timeshare. His efficiency does allow him, though, to find success on those limited touches. His breakout rate right now, which breakout run rate are runs that are defined as gains of over 15 yards, is currently 6th in the league. He's number 9 in juke rate, which has helped him to reach 5.4 yards per touch, which is good for 3rd in the league. His true carry rate, which discounts those 10-plus yards runs to properly gauge your consistency, is at 4.8 yards per carry. So that ranks him, again, 3rd in the league. Now, the home stretch is when Dobbins is going to shine for you. He's going to face the 5th easiest set of defenses going down the stretch. He's got Jacksonville on the docket next week before he faces the Bengals and then the Giants to finish the fantasy championship. Now, all 3 of those teams allow 22.3 fantasy points per game to the running back, and Dobbins is going to have an opportunity to gash all 3 of those defenses. He's going to finish the season strong, and going into next season, he's going to be an RB1 in all redraft and dynasty leagues.
I like it, man, and that's a tough show to follow right there, but I think I may have it covered, and I'm leaning towards the dynasty side of things with this Jacksonville stout. Wide receiver Colin Johnson, drafted in the 5th round in 2020 out of Texas by the Jaguars. Johnson, respectively, may have been one of the best late-round ads of this past draft. 6'6", 215, and he has a knack for contested catches along the sideline and is a big, tall threat inside the red zone. His breakout games this season came in Week 12 versus Cleveland when he posted 4 for 96 and a touchdown on 8 targets. This is the game where Chark and Conley were both out with injury. And when they returned in Week 13, we expected his snap share to go down, which it did from 80% to 50%. But it didn't stop production with Johnson, snagging 4 of 6 targets for 66 yards. We only have a small sample size to go off with Johnson due to the crowded wide receiver group in Jacksonville. However, both Chris Conley and Keenan Cole are in their final years of their contracts, leaving Johnson to be the number 2 perimeter wide receiver opposite DJ Chark next year. With the likelihood of the Jags getting a top 5 pick in the 2021 draft and most likely adding a quarterback after the Gardner Minshew experiment didn't go as planned, if that happens, Colin Johnson will be a smash in his 2nd year with plenty of opportunity.
I dig it, Chef.
If Colin Johnson is available in your dynasty leagues, make sure you grab him while you still can, because this tall stout is just getting started.
Love it.
Cheers.
Absolutely love it. And guys, to finish off the guys that are trending up, I am going with Corey Davis, a long time coming for the 4th overall pick out of Western Michigan University. A long time. Even with that dud, the 0-point game against the Chicago Bears, Davis is currently sitting at wide receiver 26 in PPR scoring. Let's cut it in half. He is averaging 13.06 points per game in half PPR scoring. With 4 more games in the season, he will need 200 yards to post 1,000 on the season. His previous career high was 891 in 2018. Davis has drawn people back in as he's been one of the better late-round picks, whether that was redraft or dynasty startups for 2020. Being the 4th overall picks warrants consistent production and play. He had an injury his rookie season that cut it short. He posted a wide receiver 27 outing in his 2nd, and he whiffed on the 3rd. He's finally bringing it together in his 4th season, also his contract year. Davis is looking to hit the market if the Titans do not sign him or tag him. He may not be the wide receiver 1 many people hoped to be, but he can for sure be that 1B to a team's 1A in 2021. Still being 25 years old, he is going through growing pains coming from the MAC conference. So here's to Davis, hopefully connecting the dots, crossing the T's, and dotting the I's.
Yeah, man, I'll drink to
It's
that.
about time. We've been waiting for that
We've
one.
been waiting for Corey Davis, man, and who better but Corey Spala to
Indeed,
bring
right?
us
The
up to
namesake.
speed on Corey
Hey, I'm
Davis.
from Western too. I saw him play 4 years.
Ooh.
See?
Well, I'm going to turn the
Represent.
tides here, guys, and I'm going to go stock down on Philip Lindsey. Now, we were all taken by surprise in 2018 with the undrafted free agent in Philip Lindsey as he finished his rookie season inside the top 15 running backs in PPR formats, running over 1,000 yards and 10 total touchdowns in his rookie year. As expected, Lindsey didn't disappoint in his sophomore year, duplicating the 1,000 yards and finishing with 7 touchdowns in 2019 for a second top 20 year. 2020, however, isn't going well for him at all.
Me too.
I had given Lindsey an injury pass in the beginning of the season where he was diagnosed with turf toe in week 1 and then a concussion in week 7. The real truth is the addition of Melvin Gordon has severely capped this 26-year-old's ceiling in fantasy, allowing Lindsey to be on the field an average of only 38% of offensive snaps in the past 6 games. This opportunity share, or their lack of, diminished Lindsey's production as we saw him receive double-digit carries in only 2 of those past 6 games and hitting double-digit fantasy points only once versus a mediocre run defense in the Los Angeles Chargers. Gordon also caused Lindsey's production in the receiving department to drop from 35 receptions on 47-plus targets in each of the past 2 seasons to only 2 receptions on 9 targets in 2020. With Lindsey being in the last year of his rookie deal and being listed as a restricted free agent in 2021, it seems that Denver may keep him as the complementary piece to the aforementioned Gordon. This leads me to believe that he will continue to have minimal production next year, and this is the real reason why I'm pouring him down the drain right now.
Well, that's a bummer. Really high hopes those first 2 seasons, especially like you said, but things have changed for the aging back.
Yeah, man.
And speaking of aging backs, the guy that I'm pouring down, giving away, whatever the case may be, is Todd Gurley. Now, I am also talking dynasty like you. The 26-year-old running back was extremely solid for the Atlanta Falcons for the first 9 games. He had a touchdown in 7 of them, and then their bye week happened in week 10. Then came the reports of Gurley dealing with those knee issues. This was likely not an if, but a when type of situation. Gurley definitely helped fantasy teams the first 9 games, but he has not been a factor in the last 3, 1 game where he missed it completely. Now, this week, Coach Morris stated that Gurley should have a larger role this upcoming Sunday against the Chargers. Todd Gurley's time in Dynasty is coming to an end. He came off with a hot start with those 9 touchdowns through the 9 games. If you did not capitalize during that sell window, then hopefully you can get whatever you can during the offseason coming up. In redraft for 2021, maybe he's worth a speculative as you start to come towards the double-digit round, but those knee issues will just not go away, especially as he gets older. The time has come for this one. The great times you have shared together are just memories now. Focus on another beer to create new memories with.
I love that. Bye. That's a sad pour. That's a sad pour one out for the homies. That one's sad. And what, you guys are all doing running backs too, so I'm gonna do one as well. And this one hurts. Like, I might want to pour one out for myself right here because my beer down is Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
What?
I know, and I'm not pouring them down the drain. Obviously, you can't do that.
Right.
You can't do that with a brew like this, so you can't pour them down the drain. But it may be time to pivot. All right, so coming into the season, this beer was the apple of everyone's eye, and it was mainly because of the brewery. We're all happy about the landing spot, and we all know the most famous brewery in America is Anheuser-Busch, right, in Missouri. And an offense in the AFC that plays their football in Missouri is the Kansas City Chiefs, and they are the absolute best offense. But that landing spot was great until Le'Veon Bell showed up. Ever since Le'Veon Bell, and they produced this new beer, and they have the new logo on it, and they're using that one as well, and they're promoting it equally. CEH hasn't seen more than 61% of the snap share. He also hasn't carried the ball more than 14 times in any given game since Le'Veon Bell joined, and he has failed to get 77 total yards in any of those games. Now, the floor for a brew in this offense, if it has the entire timeshare, is an RB2. But down the stretch this season, he's going to face the 13th ranked defense this week on Sunday against the Miami Dolphins, the number 1 defense in New Orleans, and then the Falcons in week 16, who are surprisingly number 4 against the run. So this season's going to falter off. But if in the offseason you can make a pivot and you can move this beer for fellow newcomer J.K. Dobbins, you would be trading a well-known floor brew for an untapped brew with higher ceiling and maybe even festival winning upside.
Ooh.
So if this season I can move CEH and maybe CEH in a small piece, Chef, because I know you wouldn't do it straight up.
Yeah,
I'd be willing to move.
not in my dynasty league.
I'd be willing to move CEH for J.K. Dobbins right now.
I like it, man. I like it. We'll pour him out a little bit, put him back on the shelf. Maybe he'll grab some more value down the road, but
maybe in the playoffs, maybe he's the Super Bowl MVP, something along those
yeah,
lines.
like we saw with Damian Williams last year, and
Right.
and his value did climb after that. That's a great point.
Indeed.
But for all of us at Fantasy Intervention, thank you for tuning in to the Fantasy Six Pack.
Indeed.
And check out all our other stuff going on at joinourcircle_. In the meantime, hit the like, subscribe button on YouTube if you haven't yet. And yeah, I think that's the show, guys.
Indeed. We'll be back next week with another 6-pack.
Peace.